Lost my mind, now I'm feeling so fine, cause I finally realized I don't need you. I'm feeling sublime when you're watching me shine, and you realize it's time I don't need you. Now
Hey, this is Brooke,
Hey, this is Imani.
and welcome to another episode of Resources in the Valley.
Where you get your tools to make the most out of every day.
So, how has it been, Imani? We are coming. This is episode 2, season 1. How was the summer? Did you guys do anything fun? Did you have any epiphanies during the summer? How did your summer go?
I think it went well. I enjoyed just relaxing. I think it's so easy to feel like even though relaxing is something we want to do, it's the thing that seems the least important. So I really just enjoyed um, planning out days where I didn't have anything planned. And I could be as productive or as much of a vegetable as I wanted. And I do think that kind of prepared me for, life getting busy again, was being able to just be an individual, um, being able to just be a mom and be all those things without the crazy schedule. So that felt good. How was your summer?
Summer was great. I took it easy. I can't say I went in too much of anywhere. We did our usual tubing outings and things here and there with the boys during the summer, but nothing major. We had a very, like you said, relaxing summer. And I don't regret that because I'm coming off of having COVID. So
Yeah.
with everything that's going on these days, um, life is just kind of slowed down. It's not all about like going here, going there, doing this, doing that.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's just enjoying the time with the family. I definitely did enjoy the time with the boys being home. So that was a blessing. And I'm happy that they're gone.
I hear that.
Love my boys. I love my boys, but I have learned and came to terms with being an empty nester, and I
Mhm.
enjoy it.
Mhm.
I enjoy it.
You already put your time in, so you're all good. You're
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
Mhm.
So our last episode in season 1 was about easing your mind, and it seems like that's what we did this summer. We
Mhm.
eased our mind, and that to me that's a good thing. I didn't work as hard as I do during like the school year as far as like on my businesses and but in September when it was time to like kick things back in gear, or like August when it was time to, I was ready. Like I was ready. I felt like I had enough time off. I had enough relaxed time. I enjoyed the weather and things like that. So I was ready to get back,
Mhm.
back on the path, and back moving forward and back working on the things that I'm trying to achieve.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like we always talk about, the more you take care of you, the better you actually become as a result. So the whole idea of easing your mind and choosing to have those calming down evenings and times in our lives, putting that time period on the back burner makes you crazy, crazy women. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah.
And then to me, it makes me better. Like
Hmm.
I work harder, I'm more efficient, I'm more driven. You know what I mean? When I take that time for myself. So, we have to always take that time and, and take that time for ourselves and our families, because that's what we work so hard for, our families. We don't, we do this because we enjoy it to a certain extent. We do. But it's also because we want to support our families in a certain way. So that's why we do what we do. So it was a good time. Well, we have some fun topics this season. We're gonna kick it up a notch this season. We're gonna get more transparent with you and tell you more stories about things that we've been through and just open up and dive in. We're gonna have some guests this season, and we are going to get to know each other. We want your feedback. Please take the surveys, take the polls that are attached to the podcast. We want to hear from you. We really do. We want to make sure that you're getting something out of this the same way we are. So our topic for this week is not all money is good money. Not all money is good money. And what do we mean by that? What do we mean by that? Well, this week we'll be discussing the difference between quick money and slow money. The difference between great clients and not so great clients. The difference between shady actions and honest actions. We will also compare and contrast the difference between easy money versus hard money. And I just wanted to open up with a client that I had. I've been in this business for years, and I've had many clients. Most are good, and I wouldn't say any are bad, but they sometimes take unnecessary work. They might be difficult. And a lot of times, first of all, I will say is when you see somebody difficult coming, you usually can see them from a mile away. This person is questioning your prices. They don't want to pay the full price. They want a discount. They want this. They want that. They want extra things done. Most of these people have the same characteristics. Or they want to tell you how to do the job that you asked that they hired you to do. These are the people often that sometimes the money is just not worth the service. It's a lot of times in business, especially when you work for yourself and this is your main income. It's not like a side hustle or whatever. You might be cash strapped, so you might need to take every business or every client that comes to you. But sometimes, or many of times, when you do decide to take those difficult clients, sometimes you end up taking a loss. And I have definitely done that before. I've definitely, they wanted to change the price, or they wanted an extra discount. But then we turned around and they had an extra stake. So there was an extra fee that I had to pay. Or, whatever the case may be. So, this episode is about sometimes we discount ourselves and we give those unnecessary discounts when we don't have to. We don't have to. Some of the clients that I have that give me the best feedback, that give me the best referrals, pay the top dollars. And you know why? Because they appreciate me. They appreciate me. They appreciate my service. They brag about my services. And they bring new clients in all the time. But the people that we bend over backwards for, And oh, let me give them a discount. Or, oh, let me figure out how I can cut the service down to cut the cost for them, or whatever the case may be. It a lot of times it doesn't turn out to be a good thing. So I just want us to start to think about that and weigh when we are providing a service to somebody, and we're trying to do the best to give quality to everybody and not be discriminatory or anything like that, but sometimes we might need to discriminate for our own sanity. How do you feel about that, Imani?
Absolutely. I think um, not just wanting to not just wanting to make money, but also just anyone who has a servant's heart likely struggles with that too, wanting to help others, or maybe God can use me in their life, or whatever the case may be, like as far as your motivation for wanting to work with people. We see red flags, but I definitely think that's a big deal. I think that um, yeah, at some point you have to determine what your worth is and unapologetically stand firm in that. So your price is your price. Your service and what you're going to offer is what you're going to offer. And um, sometimes we do work for the greater good, but like it's not worth it if you have to take weeks to recover from that, and I've been there as an editor myself. Just yeah, the greater good is your life, your health, your vitality of your business. Like that is the greater good. There are plenty of other people who will do pro bono work or whatever else, but you know, if it doesn't fit into your picture of your future, might be something to reconsider. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we all face that um face that choice, when we come into that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I just challenge everybody to slow down and wait a second. You know what I mean? And say, is this what I want to do? Is this who I want to work with? Another thing is people asking you to do unethical things that you don't agree with. You hold your foot down, you don't do them. And sometimes it might come with a higher dollar amount, but who cares? I'm not going to sacrifice who I am ethically for money. Period. So this is why the name of this episode is Not All Money is Good Money, because not all money is good money. Everything that glitters isn't gold. That's another thing my mother used to say all the time. Everything that glitters isn't gold. So just because it sparkles and shines and looks good and has a pretty box and has a bow on top doesn't mean that that it's a good thing. And if you have that feeling that this is not what you want to deal with, this is not who you want to serve, this is not going to be a good thing for my business, it's not going to be a progressive thing for my business, then go ahead and walk away. Offer, recommend somebody else. You can recommend somebody else that might be able to deal with that person better. You can do all types of things to still stay in the spectrum where you feel like you've served or you've helped to a certain extent without exposing yourself. And not all puzzle pieces fit together. So just because that offer, that might not be your offer. It might be your offer to give to somebody else, which they might work great with. They might work great with somebody else, but this is just not for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
We have to know how to identify and kind of be cautious and weary of things ahead of time. And it's okay to question ourselves, and it's okay to take a moment and say, you know what, I'm going to think about this. I'm not going to jump in head first and this is what I'm going to do. No, I need some time to think about it. Give me a moment. I'll get back to you. You know, whatever. If that's what you need to do, to make sure that that choice feels right. So, no episode of Resources in the Valley would be complete without a phenomenal woman. So who is our phenomenal woman this week, Imani?
None other than Pastor Sarah Sticks Roberts. I love Sarah. I really do.
Love her too. That's my sister girl.
Absolutely.
She is just an inspiration. She is she's very inspiring. That's how I feel about Sarah. She is the daughter of T.D. Jakes and Sarita Jakes, co-pastors of the Potter's House. And Sarah is their daughter who had a baby when she was younger. And you know, recently I was on the internet and I've been following her for a long time. And but her story is what makes me so passionate about her. But she posted a video recently, and it was the video of the first time that she ever spoke at her father's church. What she said it was the first time she ever used her voice. And she was introducing her father to speak at a conference. I think it was Women Evolved. No, it wasn't. It was not Women Evolved. It was
Women Thou Art Loose.
Women Thou Art Loose. Yes. So it was Women Thou Art Loose, and she introduced her dad, and she said it was the first time that she used her voice. And she spoke about being a teenage mom, coming back to church, how she felt, you know, how she felt about people looking at her and things like that, and she didn't feel welcome and stuff like that. And she spoke about the way her dad made her feel, which was welcomed, forgiven, and powerful in her position, and strong in her stance and in her stride. And Sarah is an amazing woman. But it's also because she has found strength in making the best of her situation, and taking it and helping others, and encouraging others, and motivating others, and making others realize that you are not marked. You're not, you know, you're strong. You know, you went through this to show somebody else that they can go through this. You went through this to show somebody else that God heals, God forgives, God covers, no matter what. So I just wanted to highlight her. She is a true she's a true she's a true staple in our community. And when I say staple, I mean like she really leads, she really encourages, she really strengthens, you know what I mean, in our community and the community that she's created and stuff like that. So I just think she's very powerful. I think that she is a strong woman of God, strong woman of faith. Um, and I'll just touch on a few things about her story. But she was battling insecurities when she was younger. She did have a baby when she was a teenager. She was a scholar in high school. She attended Texas Christian University, and she started her ministry, Women Evolve, in 2017. And you know, Sarah has a lot of accomplishments. She has the Potter's House in LA with her husband, and she has a very strong, you know, relationship, and they have several children. But Sarah is just she's a strong, powerful, motivated woman. And if you have not heard her speak, I suggest you do. Seek her out. She has videos all over YouTube, and she's an inspiration. She's really an inspiration. Do you want to add anything to that, Imani?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I really admire about her is not just her story, but what it represents. Because I think when people read the Bible and the Bible says that God would like to have a blemish-free church as his bride someday, they think that that means blemish-free people. And I just feel like her life and the work that she does, the things that she shares, the books that she writes, all just show like God is so much bigger than the fairy tales that we wanted our lives to be. He didn't stop being God after our last disappointment. You know, we may disappoint man because they have expectations of us, but we have a God who reaches further than a human's arms can reach. You know, we have a God who loves beyond the glares of the black church or any other type of church for that matter. Just the expectations where you're held to a quote unquote high standard. I think that she is just such a great example of the redemptive love and the powerful love and the just mercy of God. And walking in her story, I think is so encouraging because everybody has one. You know, everybody has one, but it can feel like, well, who's going to relate to me?
Yeah.
You know, who's going to relate to me? Or this is too embarrassing to talk about, or whatever kind of fears that we may have. But, you know, transparency tends to breed more transparency. And one thing I always think about is we're called to different groups of people. So her story helps her connect to all the people that it helps her connect to. But it's inspiring to know that you can share your story or I can share mine, and we'll reach our specific groups of people that, you know, maybe come from where you're from or have the same number of kids or the same, you know, you have a very unique fingerprint that your story will make and a very unique impact that your story will make that maybe you can reach people that she may not, you know. So yeah, like you said, endless source of inspiration, and really she makes me feel courageous.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. So check out Sarah Jakes Roberts if you have not. And we just wanted to give her flowers today. So how do you deal with this when you end up in a situation in which your services are not being valued, Imani?
Okay. Well, when I thought about not all money is good money, the first thing I thought about is I don't recall having not so good money. But It's interesting working with other people, isn't it? And I think that what, to your point earlier, when you are a self-motivated person, sometimes it's difficult to work with other people who are looking for things outside of what you offer. So I definitely have learned to be with people who match your energy. You can't work harder than your client is willing to work hard for the project that you're working on. And also, like, things change over time. So um, I've had work that I wanted to do to increase my income, and I traded time for money. Then I realized I barely saw my children. So quality of life over time became more important to me than that increase in income. So for me, those were two areas where there was money to be had or to be gained, but wasn't worthwhile in the end. What about you, Brooke?
Um, One of the times, and I think I started touching on it before, somebody asked me, "Oh, Brooke, can you help me?" And then it was the discount, and then I ran into additional fees. So I ended up in a position where I didn't make any money.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to make some money and, take on this client that might be unnecessarily difficult. I didn't end up making the money at the end anyway. I ended up taking a loss because either too much time was put in, too many fees were paid. You know what I mean? Things like that. So I now gauge and sometimes I, decide that maybe I shouldn't deal with that person.
Won't be a good fit.
That person might not be a good fit. I had something recently where I had to go out my way for somebody. And not to say that I don't want to go out my way for anybody, but I was doing something that I don't usually do. And it ended up a situation where it was a waste of time. So when you see those writings on the walls and you get those warnings ahead of time, we have to heed. We have to take them into account and not ignore them and take them for what they are, and recognize them for what they are. Anything else you wanted to add, Imani?
I think that, like we mentioned earlier, when you first start a business, you're more likely to do things like that, or for family, friends of family. But I think, the boundaries that you set up, the purpose behind your business, your goals that you have, those all need to be firm, even with those people that you love and care about. And, uh, don't wiggle them, because they say, what you give them an inch, they take a mile. That is something you can definitely experience if you're not careful.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. So what are we going to do this week to meet our goals? Our call to action this week involves assessing the value of your services. Are you providing quality over quantity? We want you to research your competitors' prices. We want you to value your time. How much is your time worth? How much is your service worth per hour? Also reflect on what you have learned or knowledge you have gained each year to up the quality of your service. Have you added this additional value of knowledge to the cost of services that you're providing every year? This is a great time to do this. We're in the fourth quarter of the year, and January 1st will be here before we know it. So why not go ahead and assess the value of your services and go ahead and get your prices in order for that January 1st. These are going to be the 2023 prices. So always factor in you, factor in your knowledge, factor in the things that might not have a cost, but might have a quality associated with it, to value your services. Anything else you want to add, Imani?
I think you hit it on the head, especially the more you know about something, the more you should be charging to perform that service, just so you know.
Yes. So we challenge you all to do this over the next week. And we are back, and you will hear from us next week too. So Imani, I'll give it to you.
So we're wishing all of you beautiful angels a blessed and productive week.
And remember, you will get through this valley too. Thank you for joining us, and you all have a good and blessed week.
God got me, plant his seeds, let me breathe, cause I need him. Stay faithful, not hateful, I'm playful, cause he got me. He called me his angel, I'm flying to heaven. Just know that he sent me from heaven to flex you.